A man decided to harass an elderly woman for wearing a mask while on a train in New York. Let's take a look at the video. It is, let me just warn you, pretty upsetting because of how unbearable he is toward this woman who's just trying to mind her own business. Let's take a look.
You know what I respect? I respect freedom. What do you respect? What do you respect? What up? Take a seat. Sit down. Sit the down. That's right.
So he claims he respects freedom, but at the same time, he doesn't believe that a woman who's made a decision to wear a mask to keep herself safe deserves to be free from his potential diseases. And it's that sense of entitlement that we talk about over and over again. He has this need to harass her for her decision, which quite frankly, is the responsible decision to wear a mask on a train in New York. But Cenk, why don't you jump in before we give you more details on this guy?
Yeah, so we're gonna tell you what happened to the guy in a minute. Because there's some developments. But let's first know some ironies. Did you notice the British flag on his collar as he's chanting 1776? Oops, I think that's the wrong side. But the right wing has been on the wrong side for a long time. The Confederacy, now Tucker Carlson is celebrating the Taliban, so is Lauren Boebert. But the fact that he's chanting 1776 while he has a British flag is amazing on his actual clothing. I told you guys this yesterday, so really worth noting, especially in the context of this story. Funny enough, we won in 1776 because George Washington vaccinated the American troops. And back then it was very dangerous, but he took the bold step of vaccinating them against smallpox. Otherwise, a lot of historians think we most certainly would have lost and would have never had the freedom in the first place that this guy is now pretending to celebrate. Okay, so those are some ironies. But most importantly is, what are you doing, man? You're telling her to sit down? An older woman, you're bullying her? I mean, the guy, they found out who he is. He's apparently 27 years old, although he doesn't look like it. Apparently hate wears you down. He's bullying everybody in the subway car there. I'm sick of these guys going around thinking they own the place and that they can intimidate everyone else. This is going to lead to disaster. I'm surprised that happened in the New York subway and he didn't get his ass kicked.
No,
and so
yeah.
I don't want that. But this is gonna lead to disaster.
Yeah, look, there are two things that upset me personally in that video. Number one is that sense of entitlement that this guy has, where he thinks just leave people alone. Just leave people alone. Like, he felt the need to get on that train and start antagonizing everyone on it, especially the woman that he was getting all heated with, when he could have just minded his own business. But he went in that train looking for a fight. And we're seeing this happen over and over and over again. Like, people are just ready and willing to engage in conflict. They're looking for it. The other thing is, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong in saying this. I would like to believe that if I were on that train, I would step up to that guy. And I wouldn't just stand there and watch him treat this woman the way that he treated her. Everyone's just sitting there minding their own business like it's not a big deal at all.
No, but they put us in constantly, toxic people put you in no-win situations. Because if you go up to the guy, now we're gonna have violence, right? Because that guy's an idiot and he's not gonna just back away, right? But if you don't go up to the guy, you're letting him bully this poor woman, right? So you're in a no-win situation. Now, we're gonna tell you the follow-up of what happened, and maybe that's the best way to handle it. But I'll tell you what, I mean, I know myself and I've done it before, and I don't know if it, but I know that if I was on that subway train, there's no way I would have let that guy stand, right? And then what are you gonna do now? Now we're knee deep in nonsense, insane situation where very likely violence is gonna break out. But I'm not gonna let her bully that woman. No way, no way, right? Oh, why don't you sit down, he says. You piece of crap, you coward, you total utter coward. Okay, would you do that to a guy who was bigger than you? No, 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 no. You would bow your head, you drool away. You're doing that to an older woman, you sick. Anyway,
yeah.
But look, they found him, and I think maybe this is the better path because I don't want violence. But these guys are going to tear us apart because they're asking and asking and asking. And by the way, physically restraining her like he did is technically a crime. Okay, that's a false arrest of a sort, right? And an assault of a sort, and you could be arrested for that. But they think, nah, we're right wingers. We own the place.
I'm entitled to behaving this way.
I'm entitled to bully poor women on the subway. And these are the guys who, by the way, long time ago pretended to be party of family values. They're sick people.
So after this video went viral, there was an effort to identify who he is. And sure enough, within 3 hours of the video going viral, someone on TikTok identified the individual. Let's watch.
I need your help identifying this clown here.
Don't worry, bestie, I got you. Everybody meet 27-year-old New Jersey native Ryan Bartels. Ryan thought it would be appropriate to harass and verbally assault an elderly woman on the subway over her mask. So I did what any sane person would do, and I found your mom and sister and told them what you did. It also looks like at some point you worked at a CarMax in Richmond, Virginia, so just in case you're still there, I let them know too. But if anybody has a current place of employment for Mr. Ryan Bartels, be sure to let me or Aunt Karen know. And next time, reconsider being a piece of in public. Also, wear your mask and get vaccinated. That's literally the stupidest hill to die on.
So CarMax has responded to calls to fire this guy, and it turns out that he's no longer working there. He left CarMax as of May of this year.
Yeah,
so
I've had mixed feelings about chasing folks down and figuring out where they work, etc. And of course, everything always depends on context. What do they do? What were your other remedies? But now I'm beginning to think maybe that's the better way to go. Because one way is somebody steps up to them and then things get ugly and violent. The other way is, oh, okay, we'll see you on the flip side. Because if you're gonna treat people like this, would you want somebody like this working for you? Going around bullying people, maybe he does that at the office. He finds like your accountant who's like a 68-year-old woman or something, or 58-year-old woman, and says, "Oh, why don't you sit down?" You know how quickly I'd fire that son of a bitch, right? So is you doing a favor to his coworkers, to his employers, and to the consumers and clients, etc., by letting him know what a monster he is. And if you say, "Oh, well, now you're just going to get me fired for bullying little old ladies,"
yeah,
that's right.
That's exactly right.
And so maybe next time you're thinking about being a tough guy and bullying old ladies on the subway, maybe you'll think twice because it might affect you, precious you.
Yeah, I've got no empathy for anyone who's abusive toward elderly people at all. And already I'm feeling less and less patience for people who feel the need to go out of their way and talk to strangers in an effort to antagonize them for their own personal decisions and responsible decisions in response to the pandemic. Like I don't, to be honest with you, I don't like the calls to fire people and all that. This to me, much like the white woman who called the cops on the man in Central Park and claimed that he was assaulting her, like those are unique situations where I think, no, there need to be consequences, okay? In the case of the Central Park situation, you have a white woman calling the cops on a black guy and alleging that she's being assaulted by him, and we know what kind of response cops usually give when their calls like that are made. And then in this case, you're bullying, harassing, and in a way assaulting an elderly woman who's just wearing a mask on a train. You can't get away with that kind of behavior. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Yeah, hashtag not sorry at all. Hope they find out where he works and get him fired. And I'd like to see him cry and cry. And by the way, there's no justice in the world, don't get me wrong. He'll become a right-wing hero, and then they'll probably pay him more to just sit on his lazy ass, right? They'll be like, oh, you bullied little old women on subways? Yes, right-wing hero! Give him money, give him cash for violence and being a terrible, despicable person. God, man, right-wingers, do you ever teach decency to your families at all anymore? Or is that like, are these your role models? People who go into a crowd like Kyle Rittenhouse and murder people, and then he gets celebrated. Trayvon Martin gets murdered by a lunatic who chased him down with a gun, tackles him, and then kills him. And he becomes a hero? They'll probably make a hero out of this guy too. Is this the values you teach your families? What has become of you? The right wing in this country, I don't know if they were always this kind of monsters, but they certainly are now. And there's no talking reason with them at all. That guy's not gonna listen to anything. Look at him. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.